I got my dancing shoes on and my legs are working.
Oh my gosh, your knees working too.
So it's still been cold weather. I'll tell you.
You got the weather, you can tell the weather.
I got that black slip and it was 33 degrees and had to go to physical therapy and had short pants on.
We're live.
We're ready. We'll go ahead and call our regular scheduled DSS meeting to order. Just a reminder to everyone in attendance and among the board to please silence their mobile devices. Now I will ask our county manager to lead us in the invocation.
Dear Lord, thank you so very much for your very many blessings, Lord, for this day, for your guidance, for your safety. Lord, I pray that we render wise decisions and be smart with our use of funds. Lord, I pray you guide our footsteps, Lord, with each individual in this room. Lord, I praise you. Thank you for all you've done. For I ask these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
And I'll ask Commissioner Master to please lead us in pledge.
Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
Everyone make yourselves aware of the ethics, awareness and conflict of interest reminder. Are there any ethics or conflicts of interest that need to be disclosed or not? Hearing none, I'll move on to item number 6, additions or changes to the agenda. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda tonight? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion that we adopt the agenda. Second. All those in favor, vote by usual sign. Item number 8, approval of the minutes from September the 6th, 2022. Having time to review those minutes, I'll entertain a motion that we accept those as prepared. So moved.
Thank you.
All those in favor, vote by usual sign. Leads us to our director's update. Director Boone, come forward and give us our update. Good evening.
So just continuing to update everybody about the happening with the DSS that we're doing in the community. We are still continuing with our law enforcement and NBC meetings. The last one we had was on the 13th of September, and our next one is on the 11th of October. We did have our Medicaid enrollment broker event, and this was on the 29th, so last week. We hosted. There were several Medicaid enrollments. There were the brokers, there were providers. We also had the ombudsman representative. We had fiscal legal services there. Remember who was up to the house? RHA, VIA, there were numerous folks in the community. And we all gathered at the Senior Citizens Center, and it was really great to have several of our senior citizens kind of walk through and talk, and they were very appreciative of the little freebie gift that the brokers and everybody had. So they filled up their whole bag. It was sweet. And we had several folks to walk through and talk to the brokers. And then we had a presentation at the end, which was very helpful. But there was a lot of good just connection building. You know, the turnout wasn't great, which, you know, you just never know with these events, but just the connections that people were able to form was, you know, very valuable. And so we appreciated that time. And originally, Brandon, I'm not sure if you've gotten word of this, but the tailored plan was scheduled to roll out December 1. And the minute we left that event Thursday, they informed us that it had been pushed back to April 1st. So we're doing all this prep, getting ready for December 1, and now they pushed it back. So Yep, like with numerous states that continue to push back for us. I did have to visit with Christy Nash. She came by and spent pretty much the entire day with me, and I brought her down here. Her and Alan chatted for a while, introduced her to Mavis and Belinda, so that was really nice for her to be here. And she walked around and met the staff and kind of got to look around the building. It's time with her. We were able to schedule our first CCPT meeting. You know, we had all this discussion last month, so we have that scheduled now for the 27th of October. I thought I would push it back a little bit late in the month to give people plenty enough time to get that on their calendar. So 9 o'clock on the 27th. will be our first meeting. And when we meet on this date, we can kind of talk about the best schedule for everybody, because I know 9 o'clock may be hard for a lot of you. But I just thought if we get all gathered at that one time and then just set it going forward, we can actually set the quarterly meetings going forward so everybody knows when in advance and make it fit everybody's scheduling needs for to the best ability anyway. I wanted to kind of give you a heads up on our heating assistance for the energy. I know you guys were discussing the potential of that temporary position, but we wanted to let you know that we were on a state call last week. But we did propose that question: is the state going to increase the amount of funds for counties? And the answer was no. So that is not. It is currently $600. And that will not be increased. And so most of you know that's not enough to even, for our vendors to go out a lot of times. So we're dealing with that challenge of, having our vendors to work with us to do that.
How's our vendors respond? I know that's not their, they seem willing to, I guess, bend their own rules, or is there another plan to supplement that, or?
I would really like to do that, be able to supplement it. We were kind of brainstorming the other day about that. A lot of times we have a lot of folks ask us, what can we do as far as a donation to support you at DSS? And so my job is to educate the community on when they ask me that question. I want to be able to say that, if there's anything we can help, with our adult population or energy. So as of right now, then, we don't have any latest stuff on that. So it's going to be hard to originally we were allotted $54,792 with our CIP, and we've already used as of Friday. We used 21,000 of that already. So, and it's really just getting off the ground. So.
I know you or Jennifer one probably told us before, but about how many elderly people did you guys serve last year? Do you know, just a rough guess?
Numbers. Yeah, that would definitely be a Jennifer question. I don't. And I know, so this is our CIP, this is our crisis one. We also have the Lee app.
Yeah.
Which December 1 is when that opens up, and that is more for our elderly population. Right now, it's kind of both. It's that crisis situation. So yeah. I can
Anybody that needs any elderly people that need fire with my husband, I have volunteered now. It takes some old people. So
great.
very charged.
And we are. It's there now. So we're still working on enrolling those vendors too. We still have a few that have not chosen to enroll, so we're really working on this. Get them enrolled. Encouraging. I think that's all as far as updates I have. I'm going to stay some of our closed session.
Question.
I know probably last month we talked about the child fertility board. I think the county manager has reached out to Health Department Diane Creek. Has she been in touch with you when
Since,
we first discussed this a month ago? Probably a month.
we have, in the past, we have emailed a few times, but that's been a while.
According to her, and I'm gonna look at this email that she sent back to Alan. According to Dale Gregg and the Yager County group, is the same people that also do the child protective services group for DSS. They meet at the same time. And Avery, the child fertility is discussed first, and then child protective cases next.
When at my previous job with the CDFA, I served on that committee, and so in Avery County, they hosted the community child protection team
Mhm.
first of the day, and then the second part of the day, or after that was the top town.
And generally, they're pretty much the same people on.
They are, like with the child fatality, there's, like the EMT, there's a few more required folks that are not required with
County manager, would you do me a favor, would you contact Ms. Creek at the health department? I think your email, her response to you was on September the 9th. This is October the 3rd. You would reach out to her tomorrow and find out when she's going to touch base with our director of DSS. Request it be done this week.
Okay.
Before the end of the week. Thank you. And I'm sorry you've not been contacted.
happy to serve whenever you get a rules. Happy to.
Well, it sounds like that's a board that the state requires. Is that correct? And we don't have one. We've not had one. 3 or 4 years. It appears. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mrs. Blue? It's order of, I thought, you can. Sean, you and Trey come forward. Give us your update. Leaving.
Really, it's pretty much status quo with child services. If you look at, really nothing has changed since last month. We do have one case that's scheduled for this month to be for adoption, so we'll have one till October, but that's pretty much everything else is pretty status quo. Probably the biggest shift for this past month is on page 2. If you look at the number of calls that CPS received. We had 32 calls last month. That was a huge volume.
That's a double.
Yeah, and about 50% of those were actually screened in for assessment or investigation. So that was a pretty big load our staff were handling, juggling last month, and obviously that actually a lot of that is carried over into this month as well.
That's just school fire and backup, Sean.
Really, I'd say it could be some of that. I think it was really kind of all over the place. I wouldn't say that it was, it was really, we had to be called from the school system, but I wouldn't say that would been really, the majority of it or the so sometimes it just comes in waves like that. In home cases, we had one new, one added, 2 closed, so we're at 3 with that. And then we'll cover the APS stuff in session.
Thanks, man. I understand.
Mine was quicker than me. Some were pretty still new into this fiscal year. I handed you the printed of the report to you, so you should see part of the program cost there. We're coming in the end of September at 25.57% in expenditures, right where we should be, because we should be around 25% this time of year. So that's all 3 months. Our revenues, you're just looking at 1 month right now because August revenues have not posted. So we should be at 8.3%. We're at 9.74. One note to note about August revenues is we went through the same thing last year as we coded against our funding. And then when the state uploads our SSDG dollars and our canon funding, they charge us back for what we coded. So we catch that up last year. We experienced the same thing, so, and caught it up, so we didn't. So our unposted revenue is just over 52 for August. Low, but we'll catch it up. If they didn't do it this way, then our June and our July revenues would have came in lower. If they had uploaded it in time, it would have been substantially lower. So they gave us that money ahead of time and they take it back when they upload it. I don't know why the last couple of years they've taken their time in uploading and finding to get it uploaded. So that's really all I have, Michelle.
Look, I just had one quick, look like we're 40% into our overtime pay for this year. Is there anomaly there, or is that?
That's mainly because we're traveling to the coast, experiencing overtime costs. If you look down, we're a little bit over 25% in our gas and oil. That's the same rate.
Gotcha.
That's gonna happen in the travel cost.
And it's like the Biden health grant didn't happen this year, which is kind of disappointing for us.
No, actually it did.
It did?
We'll have to do a budget amendment, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
we've been in the matter to spend, and we had till the end of last week to spend. We did, and that'll be presented in the budget amendment.
Oh, great.
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty nice little,
How much it was.
I think we budgeted about 25,000
Yeah.
and we were able to spend somewhere around 18 plus.
Yeah,
Right.
17 if you pay for taxes. So we still have some costs to post to that, so it might come in a little higher. But yeah, we worked real hard about that. Help the families.
that probably makes work some of the case plan a little easier when. some barriers are there.
Yeah.
I'll fit into a category.
Any other questions? Thank you.
I'll have one for you,
Oh.
or you can answer,
Okay.
maybe Sean can answer the email. Are you guys 100% staffed as far as up on the hill?
No. As bad as I hate to say it, no. We have had some turnover. We had a lady retire. And we had a lady that is moving to the APS position. And then we had one of our front desk folks move into a food and nutrition position. So currently, right now, we have our front desk position open and two foster care social work positions. And then we also have a lady that has gave her notice, and she's having a little one and has found a job where she can work from home. And she's made the choice to do that. Yes.
What's your success in recruiting and getting applications in for your post?
So far, I hate to say it out loud, I don't want to jinx us, but it's been going really well. We've been very pleased with applicants.
Most of our applicants come in through Indeed. We use the free service Indeed, so most of the applicants we get are one mass.
I feel very blessed listening to stories across the state of how they're struggling to fill positions. I know one gentleman for Secret Sean, how long have they had?
They've got a posting for over a year.
Yeah, for several positions. So we feel very blessed.
That's several interviews.
Very
So very
qualified
confident that we'll be able to fill those fairly soon.
people. Okay. Promise I'm not one of them all.
No, I'm looking. It was, please don't take that question in any way negative that I asked. It was not a question to be negative. It was a nosy question or an informational question, okay? Well, you're doing spot on, so just, look.
We're trying.
She says that every time she. She's like, I promise I'm not running them all.
Look at that stage.
When you're at, I thought, oh.
I know.
Well, you know, you think about it, guys, at least in the
Yes.
times right now in everything. And so if you've got qualified applicants, if you've got people even applying, much less qualified,
Yeah, very great.
you're blessed.
I don't think CPS has ever been like, stable for employment or even long term. I don't think that's true across time and distance. So I've lost my agenda. As soon as I find it, we'll convene. We do have a need for a closed session tonight. As the Mitchell County DSS board will hold a closed session in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11. Subsection 1, to prevent the disclosure of information that is privileged or confidential pursuant to the law of the state of the United States, or not considered a public record within the meaning of chapter 132 of the general statute. I'll entertain a motion that we move to closed session. So move. Second. On your second, Steve?
Second.
All those in favor, vote by using sign. And I will invite our board, our county manager, our clerk, our county attorney, and maybe Sean and Tammy to remain in the closed session.